And our final game in Wichita. The American Athletic Conference Houston Cougars, the 6th seed against the Big Ten's Michigan Wolverines, the number 3 seed. And the winner will go on to meet either Texas A&M or North Carolina. Welcome back to Wichita, everybody. Brad Nessler along with Steve Lavin. Lav, we've seen some impressive performances here over the last 3 days, but really none better than Rob Gray of Houston the other night.
Well, how about 39 points on the big stage of the NCAA tournament? March Madness has a way of making stars of athletes, and no exception here. The ability from long distance, a marksman to tickle the twine off the bounce, the scoop shot and game winner that advanced the Houston Cougars. And how about the top knot?
And this guy's the top guy from Michigan and didn't have a good night in the win over Montana.
Well, it's important that Wagner gets touches early and often in John Beilein's offense as they try and return to form after a subpar performance offensively. Wagner needs to step up.
And he is their leading scorer. We'll see if he can come back tonight and whether or not Rob Gray, the leading scorer in that lineup for Houston, can put on any kind of show like he did the other day. Kelvin Sampson looking for a Sweet 16 appearance for Houston, first time since '84. John Beilein trying to get Michigan in the Sweet 16 for the 4th time in the last 6 seasons. And we are underway.
Michigan comes out in their man-to-man defense. They will mix defenses throughout the game.
The left hand goes for Breon Brady, who didn't even score the other night, and he's got the opening 2.
It's encouraging. Establish your offense at point-blank range, then complement it with Houston's ability to dial it up from long range, Brad.
Simpson at the point for the Wolverines. There's Matthews. He had 20 and 11 in the win over Montana. 5 on the shot clock. He's going to have to go straight up with it. Off the mark, and the rebound belongs to Devin Davis.
Gray's vision, his ability to see the floor, helps him with the playmaking.
Houston pulls it back out. Gray on the dribble. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Wagner comes out to double team him. Now he's going to have to hurry to get a shot away. He will take it, but he won't get it.
Good crowd there by Michigan. Try and show multiple jerseys on Gray's catches. Not give him any seams or lanes to the basket.
Abdul-Rahman missed the 3, but it's kept alive in a fresh shot clock for Michigan. They'll go right back up with another 3. Wow. Still no good. Galen Robinson bringing it the other way for Houston. Here's Brady, who's got our only basket so far. Nice spin move to the baseline. Good looking move.
Well, also, not only is Houston dumping the ball inside, but trying to go at Wagner to get an early foul. Smart, strategic thinking by Kelvin Sampson.
Breon Brady's got a season average in the opening couple minutes. And now we've got a moving screen on Wagner.
Just what John Beilein would not want to happen early for the Wolverines.
John in his 11th season in Ann Arbor. Here's Wagner, and didn't get set, kind of a hip check there.
That's why Coach Beilein was talking to his guards about wait until the screener is set. It's on you to not go too fast. Now you put your teammate in a vulnerable situation to be called for the moving screen.
Brady feeling his oats. Trying to battle for the rebound, picks up the foul. Good start, though, for him. Going aggressively to the hoop, the junior.
We talked about in the first game, you know, coming out of the locker room pregame and halftime is when you really get a glimpse, an indication of what teams are trying to do at both ends of the court, and Houston trying to pound it in here early on Michigan.
That one knocked out of bounds. The officials are going to confer here. It's going to be Michigan ball. We get another look. Last touched on the inside by Devin Davis. Teske in the lineup right now with Wagner on the bench. Here is Teske, the big guy, and fouled from behind. Look out, a lot of traffic in there, half of it on the deck.
A better patience and ball movement on that possession by the Wolverines, and then in single coverage, Teske with the drop step picks up the foul.
So Brady picks up 2 fouls after he had 2 nice moves to open our scoring with the 4 points we have right now. And that's going to take him out of the lineup after Teske's first free throw. And he got it. So there goes Brady.
With Wagner on the bench, Abdur Rahman becomes more critical in terms of his versatility to help the Wolverines' cause as a playmaker, shot maker.
Nice job by Isaiah Livers there to tap that out. He couldn't get the rebound himself, but he kept it alive.
They've got a mismatch inside.
Teske, size-wise, going to be a mismatch for just about anybody. 7-1.
But he's pesky. Pepper pot.
Let's see if Gray gets a touch this trip. No, he won't. One-hand hook, no good. Look out, Coach. Coach Beeline almost got run over in front of his own bench.
Good footwork by Coach Beeline.
Michigan looking for some offense. No field goals yet. Matthews in traffic on the baseline, trying to find an opening. They get it back outside. Livers will take a 3.
Rock. Now, Michigan just hasn't established an offensive rhythm or flow in their first game and here in the first 4 minutes.
Gray tried to feed it inside. We're going to have a foul on Livers from behind. Well, Rob Gray, no big touches yet, but his team is leading by 3.
Welcome back to Wichita. Houston with the early 3-point lead over Michigan. And the Cougars introduced themselves to much of the nation on Thursday night with their performance. And guys, if you spend any time around this team, there's a clear identity. It's a roster built of junior college transfers and guys that had to fight and claw to get to this stage. And Rob Gray maybe described them best, saying, we're a bunch of junkyard dogs. We want to make this game grimy, physical, and dirty. And while they respect Michigan, Kelvin Sampson said, we're not going to be looking for autographs before or after this game.
Well done, Evan. Rob Gray's barely touched the ball so far, but when he talked to Evan after the game, after his 39-point performance the other night, he said, this is for the fans, this is for the city. Of course, the city of Houston had a tough year, but they're enjoying their team's entry into the NCAA tournament, that's for sure. Well, nice job on defense on Rob Gray.
Well, you're seeing the Wolverines making a concerted effort to crowd. We mentioned last night or 2 nights ago the 8-in-the-box approach. When you're facing a great running back across the scrimmage line, he should see the line of scrimmage. He should see bodies, jerseys. And in basketball, it's the same. You've got someone that drives it as effectively as him. Bring extra heat, extra jerseys.
Let's see what Michigan does. They're opening 5 trips into the front court, or 0 for 6 from the floor. Now they're 0 for 7, and Gray's got a rebound. Too strong off the window, kept alive though, underneath and in by Nuazana.
On Gray's penetration, he's not happy that he didn't finish that shot, but what he does is bring Michigan help, and that opens up the rebounding opportunities.
This looks like the Michigan we saw against Montana early, as you said, Steve. Same story tonight.
Almost like a slump within a tournament. Psychologically, just a lid on the rim.
They've won 10 straight. There's a 3 that goes. That might help the cause for Duncan Robinson. Kind of a tough night as well the other day, but he's their leading 3-pointer. Well, that's at 230th of his career. So if he can get hot, that would help their cause.
Yeah, just what they need. And nothing wrong with exploring going back to him or involve him in your offense. Doesn't have to shoot it, but just by getting a touch.
Simpson right on Gray, and Pesky comes over to help out. Here's a runner off the window. It's no good, and an offensive foul on Corey Davis. It's a race to save the universe, led by a man who's always finished last. From executive producer Conan O'Brien, watch Final Space, a brand new animated comedy on TBS. All new Mondays at 10:30.
Good help there by Simmons defensively to pick up that charge as Davis powered his way to the basket. So Simmons there at both ends, Brad. Saw him knock down a three, then defensively helped the cause.
Kelvin Sampson sits Rob Gray down. And as I said, Robinson couldn't find the range the other night. He's got it here early.
Well, that's good coaching again, and also teammates that are willing to get the ball back to someone that made a basket. When you're in the desert, struggling, anemic numbers offensively, you have a positive play off of that for momentum.
Houston will try three of its own off the front of the irons. Simpson will track down the rebound for Michigan. And looking to push it. Matthews wants Teskey to clear out so he can take that fadeaway jumper.
Well, tough shot, contested, tough angle along the baseline.
Good offensive rebound, and the traffic in there for Fabian White.
Well, Houston getting down the floor quickly on that possession before Michigan could set up their defense, and it leads to a high percentage shot. Second shot opportunities again for the Cougars.
Matthews does a nice job warding off the defender a little bit with the left hand and off the window with the right. So with Gray out there, there's not a great outside shooter. Corey Davis would be the best as far as three-point shooters on the floor right now for the Cougs. 5 to shoot. Somebody's going to have to take one. And they don't get one off. Simpson, quick hands with the steal. And Abdur-Rahman makes him pay.
I think Rob Gray will be back in the game ASAP, ready to check in.
Armani Brooks picks up the foul. Chance for a three-point play for the Wolverines when we come back from this break.
Adam Zucker in New York with this tournament update. It just ended on CBS. Gonzaga with a 16-2 run, a turnaround, a 5-point deficit. Zach Norvell with 6 threes in the game, 28 points. The Bulldogs send home the Buckeyes 90-84. Ness, back to you and those Michigan fans.
Yeah, they're loving it when you got that report to them, because anything Ohio State does that goes negatively, Michigan applauds, and vice versa. Here, Michigan started really slow. Wagner, their leading scorer, has started slowly again, as has Rob Gray, who had 39 the other day. About 8 minutes into the game, Michigan with a 3-point lead and a chance for a 3-point play from Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman.
And interesting that both head coaches elected to put their star players on the bench and allow them to look at the game through a different lens or prism, take a deep breath, come back in, recalibrate it. And those are tactics that coaches use, trying any method possible to bring forth the best in an individual, especially at this stage of the season when it counts so much.
Jumper contested by Robinson, comes free. Gray got his first look and buried a three. And here we go.
Well, that time on the bench clearly paid off. Cleared his mind, took a few deep breaths.
I said to him before the game, can you go for 39 again? He said, I'll try. He didn't promise anything.
I expect nothing less from him. Bravery, courageous.
Abdur-Rahman working against Gray. Wagner's going to try a triple. Not this time. And all black jerseys underneath for the rebound. So Houston can take the lead back if they score. Van Beck in the lineup. Did not play the other night. He missed the AAC tournament with a hand injury. He does not have the tape on the fingers that he had at practice. That shot short, pulled out of the air by Wagner.
See if Wagner get a touch inside near the basket. He's 6'11". Better chance of making a basket or getting fouled and then seeing the ball go through the net. You get a couple free throws.
Robinson, he's 3 for 3 out there.
And once again, play through Robinson, who's had some success, one of the few to see the ball go through the net.
Gray tried a 3 of his own. Rebound off to Michigan as they push it up with a 4-point lead. Wagner. There he got it. A little speed move, a little hang time, and now he's fired up.
Well, great dump off by Simmons to the trailing Wagner. Perfect timing, delivery. Timeout.
Bigger rap battles, bigger burns. Method Man and Haley Baldwin host the TBS original series Drop the Mic. All new episodes coming soon on TBS. Check in with Evan.
Well, Brad, Kelvin Sampson gave that whiteboard a workout in the last time out. It started by throwing it on the ground and then writing on there 22, Duncan Robinson. We covered this, guys, in the locker room. He's a shooter. We have to get out to him. Really frustrated with the attention to detail. Offensively, I'd like to see them attack more, maybe get to the free throw line.
Let's see how they do. They trail by 6. Feed it to Devin Davis. A kick out. And a 3 goes for Van Beck. His first points of the tournament.
We'll have a hunch, bet a bunch. Van Beck delivers, productive with his minutes, making the most of the opportunity.
Wagner, nice ball movement over to Poole on the outside, and he buries a triple. Jordan Poole, a freshman out of Milwaukee, puts the lead right back to 6.
Better movement.
Van Beck will take a heat check from the other side, and Simpson pulls down the rebound. Robinson camping over there, but they do a better job with the defense closer to him. Devin Davis on him right now. Wagner asking for it. He's got a mismatch in height there, and he'll go straight up with it. Rebound off to Davis.
With his size advantage, if he can get a deeper catch, now he has a higher percentage shot than a fadeaway from the baseline.
Gray straight away 3. Yes. His second.
Well, it just sizes up opponents, and if you give him any daylight, that quick release like a gunslinger, he'll knock it down on you.
You're just joining us. He had 39 in the win over San Diego State. Here's the first round. And
here's what's tough, Brad. If you take away that daylight, his ability to get by you and play the angles off the bounce.
There he does a nice job defensively. He knocked that ball away from behind, and now he's going to pull up. Not so good that time. Abdur-Rahman got his man in the air, hesitated, thought he was going to take the shot, but he'll bring it back to Simpson. And Simpson, that was kind of a halfway attempt. I'm not quite sure what the plan was. It didn't work out very well, but they get it back anyway. And this time, he does draw the foul. So Xavier Simpson will be going to the free throw line when we come back. Wolverines by 3.
To be forever a champion.
The kind of moments they talk about for a lifetime. The championship game. We'll have it on TBS.
Coverage of the NCAA men's basketball tournament is sponsored by AT&T. Dove Men Plus Care. Care makes a man stronger. And by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the NCAA.
Take a look at our game summary so far. Michigan leading by 3, started very slowly. They've had 6 assists on 7 field goals, though, since then. And again, Wagner off to a slow start, just 2 points. Gray's got 2 threes. so far for Houston. And we've got free throws coming up.
Well, Houston surprisingly doesn't have a free throw tonight. They were 18 of 24 against San Diego State, which went a long way to helping their cause in knocking off the Aztecs.
This is the 4th free throw attempt for Michigan. Simpson, who's not a very good free throw shooter on the season anyway.
And a very interesting delivery.
52%. Watch live games on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device at NCAA March Madness Live. Watch now at ncaa.com/March Madness or download the app today. Xavier Simpson liked to download this free throw, and he did. That's his first point.
It dribbles the ball off to the side and then brings it up, squares.
Maybe you should shoot it from the side.
Interesting. It's a trend.
Gray still can't get one to drop on the inside. Simpson pushes it up. Robinson I thought he was going to take the 3. He was itching to, but he took the 2 instead, a contested one. Fouls on Matthews.
Yeah, tough fadeaway. Foul over the back. Over Davis.
Gray looking for a pick from Devin Davis. He draws a double team, but he weaves his way through it. Dishes on the baseline, and a good feed to Devin Davis for the slam.
Well, Gray able to gather in traffic, the presence of mind to know he's drawing extra defenders, and then just a little shovel pass for the flush.
And that's an offensive foul on Matthews. Back-to-back fouls on Matthews.
Great first step. Does a couple push-ups as well, but here's the dunk. And then this drive and the quick step. And again, sometimes you don't have to have blazing speed, defensively or offensively. If you can get from point A to point B quickly, that's more important than having speed on a track.
Here he is on the offensive end with Houston a chance to tie or lead if that goes. And it does. Corey Davis from outside the arc, and Houston's back in front.
Davis working well without the basketball there for that opportunity to free himself up from the defender.
Extra pass, Simpson, the 3. Off the mark, rebound, Van Beck.
Van Beck doing a little bit of everything. He runs to the corner to stretch defenses. The threat of that 3-point shot.
Davis, who scored the last trip down on the dribble, spins inside, lost the handle momentarily going up, and thus the shot was not what he wanted. Simpson, the trailer on the drive, will go back to the free throw line.
Well, a good look up the floor, a little sideline break, then the smallest player on the court gets the ball at the rim. Simpson will step to the line after drawing that foul. But a good pass along the sidelines there by Duncan Robinson.
Simpson making his 26th start tonight. 1 of 3 from the line. Always remember, if you have a refreshing Coke Zero Sugar, a big upset isn't that upsetting. I try not to upset you after I've been sitting here with you for 3 days.
I'm amazed by the carbonation there, the sound effects. Amplified surround sound.
We'll have one of those at halftime. Wagner comes out, another slow night for him so far. That's better. 2 points for Simpson. Tie game for the first time.
Gray and Davis working off the bigs. Stack offense.
Nice hook pass over for Davis, and Davis working down low against Teskey, and he walked with it.
He's looking to try and draw the foul and became more focused on that instead of making the shot.
Right.
Shuffled the feet along the way.
5 turnovers for Houston, 3 from Michigan. And now Teskey has Fabian White on him. Poole is going to go around the traffic and score.
Good take by Poole off the bounce. Covered a lot of ground with that one dribble.
Jordan Poole's got 5, and we tie it up on the other end, and a chance for Houston to retake the lead from the free throw line.
Well, impressive take, just gets the angle and then uses the body to shield, protect the ball, and then high off the window, gets a nice bounce. The ball settles through the net.
Galen Robinson at the free throw line, chance for a 3-point play. His dad, Galen Sr., was a Houston Cougar in the mid to late 90s. His dad scored over 1,100 points in his college career.
Flat. We've had a couple of those at this regional, those tortillas, the flying saucers.
5 lead changes. The second tie right now at 24. Off the miss. Galen Robinson pushes it. It's going up. Not going in though for Gray, but he got his own miss. He's going to try another one. Still didn't get it. Wanted a foul on Simpson and no call. He's a little frustrated right now. He looks over at his coach, who's a little frustrated with him, I think. And he's still talking to the refs.
Yeah, no need. Put the energy in the next play. Help your team on defense.
Poole going to try 3. Rebound Gray. Doesn't have any help right now. He's coming down 1-on-3 and trying to draw a foul and did. Not a shooting foul though, but it'll be on Abdur Rahman. Tie game, just under 4 to go. First half in Wichita.
Adam Zucker in New York with this tournament update over on TNT in the 3 versus 6 game. Texas Tech flying all over the paint against Florida. Keenan Evans, 7 points on a recent 9-0 run. A 6-point lead with 7 minutes to go as we go back to Brad, Steve, and Evan.
All right, Zuck, thanks. Texas, Florida goes on to meet Butler, Purdue. Whoever comes out of that one, Butler beat Arkansas in round 1. Purdue over Cal State Fullerton. Here it's Michigan and Houston. And the leading scorers on their respective teams are still having a slow time of it here in Wichita. Wagner only 2 points, and Rob Gray has 2 3-pointers for his 6. And we got a collision in the lane, and this is on Wagner. That'll be his second as we check in with Evan.
Well, guys, just 2 notes from John Beilein's huddle. He feels like defensively they have to get back quicker in transition. That's where Houston's taking advantage on that end. And then for their offense, he feels like if they drive harder through that initial contact that Houston's going to give them, they'll either have good driving lanes or be able to kick out to their shooters.
And Wagner's going to come back out again with 2 fouls.
Coach Beilein not happy with either of the last 2 calls that went against Michigan. Felt his team took a charge right before the timeout. Didn't get that call, and then Wagner on the illegal screen.
Who's going to make the most shots? Who has the most points in the second half? If your brackets are already busted, play the Capital One NCAA Tournament Run game on NCAA.com and in the March Madness Live app as Rob Gray hits his 2 free throws.
Making free throws, as you know, Brad, can often lead to or be a catalyst to feeling confident and better about yourself when you're struggling, as Gray has 2 for 9 from the field.
You don't want to give a good shooter too many looks from 15 feet or he'll start killing you.
A matter of time.
Robinson had it stripped. Last touch by the Cougars though, and Simpson tracks it down. 5 on the shot clock. Robinson, can he stay hot? Not that time. Didn't get as clean a look. Better defense on it, and he was hurrying it. So that's his first miss outside the arc. Second foul on Fabian White. And so we've got a 1-and-1 coming up.
I think for Rob Gray, the challenge is when you're coming off a 39-point performance and the game comes so easy to you and you win it in dramatic fashion, The next game is completely different. And that doesn't help that you were encouraging them to try and duplicate the 39-point performance.
I should have left him alone, huh?
You almost have to reset and look at each moment, each game, each possession is different than the previous.
John Teske, 2 of 4 from the free throw line. Evan?
Well, guys, and just one point to that, too, Labs, is he's put a lot on his shoulders to not just replicate it, but continue this story that Houston has. We spent a lot of time with them, and he's wearing this every minute of every day.
No, good point. The runner across the lane won't go. Robinson clears out the rebound to Simpson. Numbers from Michigan right now. But Houston got back defensively. Abdul-Rahman to kick out. We're under 3 to go in the half. Gray, nice defense there. 10 to shoot. And kick ball. And that's going to give extra time to Michigan with the kick ball. It goes back, would have been 7 on the shot clock. Reset at 20.
Houston switching on those ball screens out top.
They switch off on Abdul-Rahman. 8 on the clock. He goes in, got it. And a chance for a 3-point play.
A little go and then stop, that hesitation move and the angle to the bucket. First step off the bounce and able to absorb the hit and get the soft bounce to go through.
Muhammad Ali, Abdul-Rahman on an Allentown, PA, senior. 3-point play goes. Van Beck comes back in. And Nurazana checks out for Houston. Michigan by 2 with 2.5 to go first half. Gray lifts up high, didn't get the roll. Abdul-Rahman the rebound, and he runs with it. All the way to the rack where he had it blocked from behind by Devin Davis. Nice job defensively, and last touch by Michigan.
Kelvin Sampson really getting into Rob Gray there. Here's the drive, the block.
You saw the
from
left
behind.
hand. And the last to touch it was the guy that was trying to take the shot. Rahman tried to find the handle, knocked it out of bounds. Houston with a chance to tie or lead.
Good help by Teske.
And Teske with the foul.
Yeah, no need. He was giving ground. He was moving his feet. And with his length, all he has to do is go vertical. He's a tree, a giant. But once you reach down with those arms, it makes it an easy call for the official.
So Devin Davis steps up. 67% free throw shooter. Started off his college career at Indiana as a freshman. You can't teach speed until now. Bleacher Report, get alerts for your teams and scores before anyone else. Download the app now. And Devin Davis got them both.
I love the collaborative approach that the Houston coaching staff has taken in trying to help Rod Gray through this game, giving him instructions, some tough love, but also encouragement.
Tied at 28 with 1:40 in the half. Here's a runner on the baseline. It's way short by Watson. And Gray comes out of the pack with it. Rod Gray working against Simpson. Still can't get one to go inside. And he's still frustrated he didn't get a foul call. Abdul-Rahman, his triple is about 3 feet short. It's up and down the floor, but nobody's getting anything to drop. Nice job blocking that shot by Duncan Robinson.
What a sequence. High octane. But not getting anything done. But the effort is there. And these are the grinding type of games we'll often see in the NCAA tournament on that second game. Combination of fatigue, also teams knowing one another's tendencies, and not going to let teams get easy buckets. Going to contest everything.
There's an open look for Davis. Thought he had it. Started backing away. Thought it was going to go. He might try another one. Van Beck will instead. Had a hand on his own miss. The rebound comes off to Michigan, and we're under a minute.
When you're in the desert like this, you're hoping your defense will create some easy opportunities, some runouts in transition, and then on the half court, you're searching for an alignment or set, some action that'll generate a point.
Left hand for Robinson, can't get it to drop off the glass, and Gray pulls it down. And we got a couple second difference in the shot clock and the game clock. Gray on the dribble, Simpson with him way out near midcourt. They play handsy against each other a little bit. Now 5 on the shot clock. Drive by Davis, in and out. Final seconds. Abdul Rahman's got to let it fly if he knows what the time is. And it's just short. So we're about where we started. Tied. 28-28 coming up. AT&T at the half. We'll get you caught up on all the latest tournament news, highlights, and updates. It's all coming up on the AT&T at the half, which is where we are. Tough one for Rob Gray. Only 8 points, and the assistant coach is talking to him, heading to the locker room, telling him to keep his head in it because we've got a whole half to go as we check in with Evan.
Well, Coach, what did you find was your best version of offense in that first half?
There wasn't much offense in that first half. They really had a good defensive team, and we had trouble getting to the basket. They switched one time. They've not switched. They keep throwing different looks at us, and we got to keep adjusting. It won't be easy, but it may be a bit easier because they'll be right in front of us in the second half.
One positive is you held Rob Gay to a pretty frustrating first half. What was working well with him?
Well, it's just one-on-one coverage. We got some pretty good defenders on the outside. Xavier Simpson's an elite defender, and he did a really good job on him.
Coach, thank you.
Got to do it the second half. Thanks.
7 lead changes and 3 ties, including right now at 28. We'll send you to AT&T at the half after these messages. You're watching the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship.
Adam Zucker in New York with this tournament update. Here's how it ended in Dallas. Florida down 3 in the final seconds after getting a steal. Igor Kulichov, no. Kevon Allen's going to get a chance for the tie at the buzzer. No, and Texas Tech grabs the ball, and they're going to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 2005. Second half of Michigan and Houston coming up.
Coverage of the NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament is sponsored by State Farm. Here to help life go right. Coca-Cola. Taste the feeling. Post-it. Extreme. Tailored for tough. And by Jumanji. Now on digital. On Blu-ray March 20th.
Take a look at the first half stats powered by Google Cloud. Tie game 28, 3 ties in the game. It wasn't pretty the last 5 minutes of the half, folks. 1 for 18 combined between the two teams, and that's the 31 and 30% shooting. Go to ncaa.com/bracketiq for more. Welcome back to Wichita as we start to wrap the night up in college hoops, and something's got to give, Lab, because that was ugly in the last 5 minutes. These teams got to start warming up at some point.
Yeah, brass knuckles and toe-to-toe, two teams that have had success this year and so much at stake in terms of the significance of wanting to advance, and sometimes that can cause you to be uptight. It's coming from a good place. But the hope is your defense can create offense and get some easy opportunities.
Let's check in with Evan Washburn. Evan.
Well, Brad spoke with Kelvin Sampson, and to the point of ugly offense, he feels like his team left a lot of shots at the rim. Feels like they're getting there. They just have to finish, and that's specific to Rob Gray. Felt like there were only a couple that were maybe questionable shot selection. And one note defensively, he feels like once his guys shade to that right hand of most of the Michigan players, that limits what they want to do, and obviously identifying Duncan Robinson at all times.
Duncan Robinson was 3 for 3 to start the game outside the arc. There's your leading scorers of the two teams. 8 for Gray on 2 3-pointers, 2 free throws. Wagner just 2 points, and Wagner so far in the tournament in a game and another half. 3 out of 9 from the floor, 7 points and 7 rebounds so far combined. And this is a guy that's one of the better players in the Big Ten.
I think Wagner's got to find ways to contribute other than standing on the perimeter and looking for a shot. You can get inside where you can get a high percentage shot at 6'11", or get fouled, or get an offensive rebound put back by using that size, and then you start to feel a little more confident and involved, and maybe you knock down a couple jump shots.
And likewise, maybe Rob Gray, much like Devontae Graham did for Kansas in our first game tonight. If you're not scoring, do something else.
Precisely.
Devontae Graham had great assists in the second half. There's a good drive to open things up for the Cougars. Devin Davis on the inside.
Well, Michigan has been better defensively this year when you look at their body of work from previous years. But on some of these drives or post-ups, not much resistance.
Here's Wagner on the outside. The kick out, they move it around, they'll take the 3. I think Matthews got fouled, but no call.
Well, good help there by the Cougars. When Wagner put it on the floor, they were quick to rotate.
Gray asking his big guy to come out to set a screen for him. Found an avenue, and with the right hand, the scoop shot off the window.
Well, turned the corner on Wagner, was able to get an angle, use that right hand off the glass on the left-hand side.
So Gray's in double figures with 10.
It's important that on his first shot, it goes down. He's the heart and soul of this Cougar team.
Wagner asking for it on the inside. They're just not getting it to him. Abdur-Rahman rims out a jumper, and the rebound taken down by Galen Robinson. So the Cougars have opened up a 4-point lead here in the opening 2 minutes of the second half. Robinson trying to feed it to the low post. The kick out, the extra pass to Gray. He's got to shoot it.
Great contest.
Not the one he wanted, but it almost went anyway. And the foul is going to be inside on Breon Brady, I think. And if so, that's an early one in this half and the 3rd one for the game.
Abdur-Rahman with excellent defense on that possession, using his length, gapped enough off of the diminutive size of Gray, and yet that length allowed him to contest the shot.
And Brady and Wagner just had a couple of words as Michigan brought it down court. Wagner takes the 3 over him. Now he's talking. Those two are still jawing.
John Beilein won't mind as long as he performs and delivers, brings something to the table.
Corey Davis, who has just 1 3-pointer in the game. And there you go. Wagner's getting the best of this deal. Can do all the talking you want. But Brady's picked up his 4th foul.
Well, good resistance. Hands are up, moving the feet. That's textbook defense. Now, you could build the case there was a bit of a flop, but that's part of basketball, selling it, using moxie or savviness, and it's on the official to make that judgment.
Breon Brady was trying to be calmed down by his teammates, and he just wasn't listening, and then he did that, so he's going to sit. And Wagner is going to try to take advantage. That 3 won't go. Collision underneath. And that's going to be on Corey Davis. Stream live, 24/7 highlights, scores, and news, free across all your connected devices with CBS Sports HQ. Check it out now at cbssportshq.com. So we got some early fouls here in the second half on the Cougars. 2 on Brady, 1 on Davis. Even with that, they still lead by 1. Wagner, nice spin to the baseline. Extra pass to Matthews underneath.
Boy, Wagner off to a good start this half. Took a charge, buried a 3, and they're delivering off some navigating on the baseline.
So the Wolverines have their first lead of the second half. Davis working against Robinson in the lane, foul before the shots. And that's 2 on Duncan Robinson this half.
Here's Wagner along the baseline, makes that quick spin move, uses the left hand to deliver a precise pass on the baseline. Matthews, the recipient, beneficiary. See Kelvin Sampson, his NBA experience, had stops with the Bucks as well as the Rockets, and he looks to exploit matchups out of timeouts, also on these out-of-bounds plays, sideline or baseline. And that's that NBA flavor he's brought back to college.
Inbounds pass is a good one and a chance for a 3-point play. Devin Davis.
Well, there it is, an example. They're looking to score aggressively, not just get the ball inbounds on their baseline out-of-bounds plays. And Davis coming off that double, and then just a nice delivery for the bucket.
And the foul on Matthews is his 3rd. Devin Davis, 8 points so far tonight. And a 3-point play.
Well, Davis on the front line of Houston has been productive, instrumental on a night where Gray is not feeling it.
Not yet, anyway.
Good point. He did have 23 of his 39 in the second half.
Nice stop, turnaround, and score by Charles Matthews. And we're tied up again. Off balance, but drawing a foul was Galen Robinson. He'll be going to the free throw line. Tie game in Wichita. Tournament summary: Kansas earlier tonight, a winner over Seton Hall despite Angel Delgado's sensational game. 22 points, 23 rebounds. You see that's the first time in 7 getting a loss in the tournament. Loyola Chicago winner over Tennessee. Greatest Cougar of them all is here working Houston radio. Big E, Elvin Hayes. You believe it was 50 years ago when he was in the Final Four? It doesn't seem like that long ago. And that guy knew about double-doubles. He averaged 37 points and 19 rebounds his last season at Houston. Wow. Evan?
I spoke with Elvin before the game, and guys, immense pride from him and the rest of the notable alumni. He said he spoke with Clyde Drexler, Akeem Olajuwon, just with what this group has done in rebuilding this program. And he pointed to 2 things. He said team chemistry and buy-in for what Kelvin Sampson has brought here, guys. And there's no better nickname than the Big E. I tried to adopt it at one point, but it didn't stick.
Not quite big enough, Evan.
You're our Big E.
Yeah, you're ours for sure. Elvin Hayes, one of the greatest, Hall of Famer, one of the greatest ever to put on a basketball uniform. And they lost to UCLA in that Final Four 50 years ago, but he had quite a year that year. He had one game where he had 62 points. They played the game of the century that put college basketball really on the TV map when they played UCLA earlier that year in January. They won that one and then lost in Los Angeles in the Final Four. But it's good just to see him out, because if you're a youngster out there and you don't know who Big E is, you know,
Google it.
Homework, will you? Nice move by Abdo Rahma. Tied again at 37.
Big E went on to have a pretty good NBA career as well.
You're not kidding. Only one of the 50 greatest of all time in the NBA.
What a front line, Wes Unseld. And the Big E.
There's a tough shot, contested shot by Corey Davis. Was a little bit off balance, missed the 3. Simpson. That's not his forte. Gray does a wise thing, throw it as far as you can and hope a teammate's down there. And Simpson tips it out of bounds. It'll still be Houston ball. Always remember, if you have a refreshing Coke Zero Sugar, a big upset isn't that upsetting.
Gray going to take the ball to bounds here. 3 for 13, but don't be surprised if he doesn't try and get a catch after inbounding the ball.
Lobs it in to Galen Robinson. Davis pull up. Short. Comes free to Gray. Fresh shot clock. Runs into a double team, spins through it somehow. Still doesn't get the call he's looking for. No foul until after the miss. And even then, it's on Robinson. That's his third. And he's probably coming out. He is. As you see Robinson over the back, trying to get his hand on the rebound, so he'll sit down. And Livers will come in for him.
Gray again inbounding the ball, going to set that cross screen.
6 minutes into the second half. Tie game in Wichita at 37. And Wagner got one in the chin. I think they called a foul on him. And that's his third. Watch this one. Wagner coming over and gets the shoulder right under the chin. And he'll come out and Teskey will come in.
And he picks up the foul.
Right.
Wow.
All that for his efforts. He's still trying to see if everything's in the right spot as he heads to the end of the bench. Tough tournament for Mo Wagner. And going to get a quasi timeout here as John Beilein, you see, says, come on over here, guys.
Yeah, both teams are going to get a chance to huddle up as we take a look. Referees review.
I guess trying to determine whether Galen Robinson,
after the pass, throws the elbow there to the left. He was in midair.
hard to tell.
Yeah,
Definitely it's the shoulder that made contact, and then
shoulder initially.
I think we're just going to play on, and the foul on Wagner.
Good work by the officials. You're in midair like that.
So the call on the court is what we had. Mo still checking that jaw to make sure it's going to open and close tomorrow morning. So the shot clock reset with that at 20. Gray on the drive. A lot of traffic there. Never touched the rim, so the shot clock is moving down at 5. And now the left hand, they finally got it up off the rim, but they didn't score. And Davis frustrated that he didn't get a whistle.
Good defensive possession by the Wolverines there, just blanketing Gray when he puts the ball on the deck.
Abdur Rahman, little finger roll out the window. He's got 10. Two-point Michigan lead is actually their biggest of this half. Zana hands it off, gets it back, seems surprised, and he's fouled. Taking time out to play Infinity's round-by-round bracket, where each correct pick nets donation to Coaches versus Cancer.
You see a lot of the frustration on both sides, Michigan and Houston, because it's a grinding, methodical defensive struggle, and you just have to embrace that. Great if you can get some runouts, but in all likelihood, we're not going to see a departure from this current tempo, and so it's how do you execute within a game like this so you can get a W and just survive and advance through the bracket.
I'm not sure that Nurazana called that one, but we'll take it. We'll take any point we can get off the glass on the free throw. Chance to tie it up here again. We're 7 minutes into the second half. Houston scored 10 points, and Michigan has scored 11. That's after we finished 1 for 18 from the floor combined for both teams at the end of this first half.
Wow.
Well, Nura talked both of those in, didn't he?
Well, those 2 free throws, he hit the glass, and then he hit the area that attaches the rim to the glass, and then the front of the rim. 2 for 2.
Hey, he made them. Abdur-Rahman on the drive of the floater. Won't fall. Gray pulls off the rebound. Looking to push it. Gave it to his trailer, Corey Davis, but he can't get a shot away either.
Good contest by Simpson, not letting Gray get a catch.
Got a little freedom there, and he got it. Just a little separation finally from Simpson, and he buried it.
Yeah, cat and mouse, like a game of tag. Gray couldn't get the ball on the near side by our table, so we worked the baseline and came off a screener for the catch and shoot opportunity. That's a great counter and read.
Simpson got free underneath, and Rahman found him.
Good answer by the Wolverines. Probed out the interior look.
We're under 12 minutes in a 1-point game in Wichita. And a cheap foul there on Livers. Rob Gray has had to work for everything tonight, courtesy of Simpson's defense. But when he can find just a little room like that, it goes like that. Who delivered the Buick expectation-shattering performance of the day? Tune in to Inside March Madness, presented by Buick, and you can find out. Here in Wichita, we're down at 11:48 to play in regulation. Houston clinging to a 1-point lead. Rob Gray, their leading scorer, with 13 points after a 39-point performance in round 1. And a 1-and-1 coming up for Devin Davis. He can go into double figures on this free throw. Wagner's back in from Michigan. And Devin Davis knocks it down.
And Houston making the most of their opportunities, now 10 of 11 from the charity stripe. Michigan 6 of 10.
Got them both. All but a minute 44 of the game. We've been within 4 points of each other, including 3 ties this half and a tie at halftime at 28.
Got a mismatch inside, but a good switchback by Houston. Gray was guarding Wagner.
Michigan's biggest lead was 6 at 20-14 in the first half. Houston's biggest lead in the first half was 5 early in the game. So we're seesawing back and forth. Matthews goes in and scores. Took a little bit of a shot to get it there.
Yeah, he tucked it like a running back. Took one bounce and all the way into the rim.
Speaking of tucking it and using your body, Gray drives and scores again.
Well, that's rare when you can take away a team's basket by getting one of your own.
And Robinson just double dribbled. Hesitated. He wanted to get the pass over to Matthews, and he picked up the ball and then tried to put it back down. Here's Gray that last trip down.
Yeah, Gray surveying the floor. Just that hard crossover, and then glides in with ease and the ability to finish.
Here he is wide open. I don't know who left him alone, but they shouldn't have.
Michigan caught napping in transition defense. Got to have vision, scramble back with a sense of urgency, and John Beilein not happy.
Houston's biggest lead. Up 6, 49-43, and their leader is starting to warm up for the Cougars.
Well, take a look here as Robinson has Gray wide open, and Michigan caught talking to one another. Ball's in bounds, and the breakdown defensively in terms of coverage of the three-point line hurts Michigan's cause. John Beilein calls the timeout, and equally as important is that Gray now sees the ball go through the net again.
Can't be taking a nap on that guy. You snooze, you lose. There's his little brother Jackson, got the same hairdo. Got Big Bro and his jersey number. His big brother Rob, who has 8 of Houston's last 10 points. Abdurrahman Wagner open for 3, got it, and maybe a 4.
Well, you don't see John Beilein animated. He's always calm, cool, collect like a professor. But on this answer, the drive, the draw, and kick to Wagner, who lines it up. Bam! From distance. Good lift on that shot. Gets the soft carom. And John Beilein was fired up.
This would be a huge 4-point play if he gets the free throw. Doesn't, though, but the 3 good enough to make it a 3-point game. Almost the midway point of the second half. 6th seed Houston leading number 3 seeded Michigan. Gray was open in the lane. They didn't see him. Simpson knocks it away from him momentarily. 7 on the shot clock. Drops a pass, or tried to drop a pass on the baseline, and turns it over.
And good help by Wagner. Early in the game, stepped slow, seemed a bit out of it, went to the bench. But here on this dribble penetration, he's going to help be big, not foul, and leads to the turnover.
Loose ball. Gray comes up with it, gets it ahead to Robinson. He'll back it out.
Both these teams so well prepared, Brad, to defend one another's actions. And you can see their anticipation, the calls, the reads from the bench, coaching staffs as well.
There have been very few gimmies in this game tonight. Wagner, the rebound.
Well, to that point, Brad, 2 fast break points combined for both teams.
That's pretty hard to do if you're even not trying.
There's the switches.
Here's Robinson. Got to look at a 3, but an air ball. He hit his first 3, but hasn't hit one since.
You know, it's interesting that Houston willing to switch regardless of matchups, because they don't want Michigan to be able to turn the corner. And even if you've got a mismatch, a mouse in the house, or Wagner being guarded by Gray, they'll live with that.
Gray picked up his dribble, and we're going to have a foul on Wagner defending Fabian White. And that is 4 on Wagner.
Boy, John Beilein besides himself.
And Teske going to come in for Wagner.
Well, they're moving the feet. I don't know. I guess he touched him with a finger.
Well, that's what he's saying. Mo's agreeing with you on that one.
And I don't see any body bumping or a forearm into the back or the shoulder blades.
White missed the free throw. So we stay at a 3-point game. Matthews trying to go to work inside. Hang time, didn't get it. Tried to tip it in. And it's saved by Fabian White. Gray on the drive. High up and down, and he's got 20.
Wow. Again, the change of pace, the shiftiness, maneuvering at a pace or speed that allows him to find those openings, the daylight at mid-range.
You and I were talking off the air at halftime about how he was struggling. I said he's still going to get 20. And he's got 20. Matthews missed a 3. Teske had a hand on it but couldn't pull it down. And we're under 8 minutes, and the Cougars have a 5-point advantage over the Wolverines. And we got a whistle at an offensive foul inside on Van Beck. Rob Gray, leader of the band. Little brother Jackson says, that's what I'm talking about. One team's leading scorer starting to warm up. Rob Gray, 20 points, 40 first time in his career. He's had a 20-point game. Mo Wagner is still struggling with 8 points and 4 fouls. You think we're not having fun on St. Patty's Day in Wichita? Just ask these folks. There's some good moves. I wonder if there's any green beer involved with either one of those.
Probabilities or metrics and math. We'll have to get back to you with our crack stack team.
Rob Gray, 59 points in the second half of these 2 games.
He's a closer finish. We talked about bravery or courage at the outset of this broadcast, and Teskey and Gray tied up.
And they just got Gray for that foul. It's only his first.
We've seen a lot of bodies go to the ground. This is what we were talking about with the mismatch. They'll give you different looks. And Kelvin Sampson confident that his guards confront or get help on a double team from someone else.
Let's check in with Evan.
Well, guys, that play's indicative of what John Beilein said in that last huddle. He said we have to be tougher than them right now. This is a physical game. We have to be strong with our cuts, our pivots, everything we do.
Robinson can't find the range after those early threes. He'll try again on the baseline. Still in and out. Matthews saved it on the baseline. Simpson will try one.
Oh, a smart move defensively, stunting at Simpson, but not going to him because he's not a shooter. Seeing some really good choices defensively.
Rob Gray's got a double-double now after that last rebound came off. He thought that one was going in. He was heading back down court. Now Robinson, take it easy, fellas. Davis and Robinson separated.
No back down in this Cougar team. You know that. Kelvin Sampson coach team, and the Wolverines, a Big Ten Conference Tournament Championship team back-to-back years. So
a heated tie-up, but just a possession arrow is all we've got to show for that, as Michigan will have the ball. Kelvin Sampson still talking to the officials over there. Kelvin's taken 4 different teams to the NCAA tournament. Washington State first, then to Oklahoma 11 times, Indiana once, and now Houston, his 6th-seeded Cougars, looking for their 28th win of the year and looking to advance to the Sweet 16. We still got 6:20 to determine that.
Yeah, Brad, he's one of only 13 coaches in the history of college basketball to take 4 different programs to the NCAA tournament.
The guy on the other bench is one of them, John Beilein.
Quite a feat.
Simpson lost the handle on the dribble. Houston picks it up. Van Beck, a 3. And Simpson will get the rebound. Houston not too concerned about Simpson's outside shooting ability. And there's a 3 that goes somehow from Matthews.
They're going to get Van Beck for another call. Foul underneath. This bucket will count. You see Simpson trying to probe, get the ball to Teskey, and then underneath you got Teskey and Van Beck. And obviously Van Beck isn't going to give any ground since he's already got the size disadvantage over the 7-footer. Teskey will step to the line as a result.
So Teskey at the free throw line. This could be a 5-point trip. Got the first one. Talk about changing a game around in 1 trip down the floor if this goes.
Well, scoring in bunches. How about One possession, scoring a bunch.
You got them both. Tied at 51. Gray doubled momentarily, brings it back out. Fade away on the baseline. He got another one. Wow.
Going to his left and then coming back and shooting it with his right, sending it up to the clouds. Bottoms.
22 for Gray. 2-point lead, Houston. Five minutes to go in regulation. Abdul-Rahman on the drive, and he's fouled again by Van Beck.
And here it is, that little inside-outside dribble. Going to his left, and then to come back with the right. He uses the glass and
off his
shoot
wrong
him straight
foot,
in.
Off his wrong foot, everything.
You know, he is Steve Nash-esque. I'm not saying he's ready to be a Hall of Famer, an MVP, an All-Star, but those numbers are impressive when you look at Steph Curry, but his game reminds me of Steve Nash in college at Santa Clara playing for Dick Davey when they ran on a Sweet 16 run, upset UCLA in the Maui Invitational. The way they maneuver with the ball, the decision-making, the judgments, the ability to shoot from range, but also off the bounce and keep that dribble alive. Very similar to Steve Nash. Nash was 6'3", and Gray is 6'1", but similar processing and thinking.
John Teskey's done a good job from the free throw line. A 55% free throw shooter. Has hit 4 in a row in this half, and he's tied the game again. Gray hangs in the air, doesn't get the ball to fall, but he will go to the free throw line.
Oh, good action. Little handoff, little split or scissor off the high post, and it leads to the opening.
Uses his body so well to shield the ball. That was the 4th foul, by the way, on Duncan Robinson. Wagner comes back in. Teskey goes out. If Wagner's ever going to do anything, you better start doing it now. We're under 5 minutes to go.
He's the best guard I've seen this year, coast to coast, at managing the entire game, controlling the game as a point guard who could put up big numbers. And now part of that's because Kelvin Sampson put him in that position, right, different than other coaches or styles or systems of play.
Nine on the shot clock. Robinson looking for a pick from Wagner, and a little touch foul on Fabian White. That will be his 4th. And it's going to send Duncan Robinson to the free throw line.
Well, this is what we talked about early. Free throw shooting, so critical in late games.
Well, Robinson hasn't been there a ton this year, but of the 56 he's taken, he's hit 50. That's 89%. Hasn't scored in this half, but he had 3 3-pointers in a row in the first half. 10 for Robinson, tied again, at least momentarily at 54.
And Michigan on the season, 326th in Division I basketball at free throw shooting, but they've offset that with other aspects, better defense, shooting, and precise offense.
Their lowest percentage from the line in over 20 years in Ann Arbor. But this guy knows how to hit them, and does both. Michigan back in front by 1.
Gray's going to work off the ball here.
Gets it. Working against Simpson. Up, under, up, and not in. Scramble for the rebound. Out of bounds, Michigan.
A little dribble weave action, and then hand off to Gray and let him go to work. And he actually found a good shot.
If you're just joining us, this game was tied at halftime at 28. And not much has separated these two teams throughout this game. Biggest lead in this half was 6 by Houston at 49-43. Otherwise, they've stayed pretty much glued to each other.
You don't have to force it to Wagner, but explore it. He doesn't have to shoot it, but if he gets touches, he draws attention, which could create offense.
Abdul Rahman has a look at that shot clock. It's down to 3. He drives, and he drew a foul with 2 seconds to shoot. We're going down to the wire in Wichita. 1-point game between the Cougars and the Wolverines. Well, the second round continues tomorrow at noon Eastern on CBS. Butler and Purdue at 5 Eastern. TNT has the NCAA Infinity Tip-Off Show. 8 games across CBS, TNT, TBS, and True TV over 12 hours. See if number 16 seed can keep on going after their big upset over Virginia. Here is our game reset. Is what we call the Jim Nantz Tracy Wolfson Bowl here. The Cougars against Michigan. Jim and Tracy will be along to see if UMBC can pull out another win tomorrow. I'm sure they're sitting in a meeting room somewhere going, we got 3:42 left, and then somebody's buying dinner. Actually, it's past dinner time, I guess. Abdul Rahman with a free throw. Michigan, their last 7 points have come from the free throw line. They've hit 7 of 8. This could give them their biggest lead of this half.
Well, an area that Michigan has struggled all year has turned into a strength of late in this game.
Rob Gray all the way on the baseline, had to get it out to Devin Davis. Trying to shake free. He doesn't have Simpson on him right now. He's got Matthews on it.
Like the screen, rescreen action. Good decision.
Found an open man for 3, and it goes for Armani Brooks, who hadn't scored until right now.
We saw the defenders roll with the screener and makes the great choice to fan it out to the 3-point line.
10th tie of the game, under 3 minutes. Wagner lost it out of bounds. Was not a great pass.
Now Davis goes to the bucket and sucks in 2 defenders of the Wolverines, and that opens the 3-point line for Brooks. And again, those are the reads, the processing like a good quarterback, looking at first, second, and third options and using the right fundamental to deliver.
Gray has to give it off to Brooks. Way out on top again as we're down to 8 on the shot clock. Gray trying to dribble through a screen, gave it away to Simpson. Wagner in transition.
Well, he catches it in stride, Brad. A good pass, laid it out in front, so he didn't have to use the bounce, but could get right to the rim.
Bob Gray tried to do too much on that last possession.
Well, they're going to blanket him the rest of the way when he gets catches. Defensively, you've got to show a crowd.
Devin Davis against Robinson, got it and one. Great body control. Robinson is fouled out in the process.
And a great call by Kelvin Sampson. A little isolation by Davis, where he can use the bounce, his strength, and his size against Robinson for the finish. That's the weight room shot. Paying off all the work in the summertime. Absorbed the hit. Concentration, eyes on target. Chance for the old-fashioned 3-point play.
He's already got one of those this half. We'll see if he can pick up another one.
Davis has contributed in a number of ways. He's ideal to set screens and then slip to the rim. Those foot races Michigan's had struggles with because Houston has an edge in terms of their frontline foot speed, and that distorts defenses, creates opportunities for the Cougars.
Devin Davis, a 6'6" senior out of Indianapolis. On the other side, 6'8" senior Duncan Robinson for Michigan has fouled out. Let's see if he can get his second 3-point play of the half. If he does, Houston's in front again. And that's the case. 60-59.
Wagner will be involved on a catch the rest of the way. Doesn't have to shoot, but needs to be involved as a screener, a driver, or a shooter.
Abdur-Rahman on the dribble. Kick out to Simpson, who goes baseline, gets it to Wagner underneath and had it swatted out of there by Davis. And then Wagner follows up with a tip in.
Boy, Simpson's done that a number of times. The smallest man on the court ends up with the rebounds. A nice delivery to Wagner. Then he's inside for the second shot. And that opportunity presents the putback by Wagner.
So Wagner only had 2 points at halftime. Has 12 now. And he missed a free throw for the second time in this half. Michigan by 1. We approach a minute and a half.
Gray's going to work off the ball. He's going to set the screen.
Again, he's got Simpson on him, who has been most of the night. Here's a switch off. Gray in traffic again. Gave it up. Brooks. Long three. Battle for the loose ball. Out to Michigan.
Wow. Tenacious effort by both teams on the glass. Bodies spilling to the floor again. And coming from a good place, but tipped out of bounds by the Cougars.
Calvin Sampson wants an explanation.
They want to go to the monitor and see who was off. Well, two Davises are tied up. Simpson trying to block out.
I think the call was right the first time. Right hand there.
Yeah.
Both
Corey
are
Davis.
Houston Cougar hands, and Abdur-Rahman might have reached for it, but he didn't get it. At least it doesn't appear that way.
Devin and Corey Davis going after the ball there aggressively.
They had the call right. I want to thank our crew here in Wichita all week, led by our producer Ryan Galvin, our director Mark Grant, and the rest of our gang. Done a great job. A lot of long hours, a lot of long games, and the final game of the night coming down to the last 114.
Brought it from start to finish.
Here we go. Michigan with the ball and clinging to a 1-point advantage.
Here's the mismatch inside. Wagner calling for the ball, gets the catch.
Got Gray on his hip. He draws a double team. 9 on the shot clock. Simpson will give it off. Gonna have to hurry from Matthews. Three-pointer in and out. And a tough rebound. And a foul after it by Livers.
Good stand defensively by the Cougars on Wagner's catch. They went to the quick double team, forced him to pass the ball. Here we see.
Wasn't much of a foul. It was an off-balance Devin Davis, but they called a foul on Isaiah Livers, and Davis goes back to the free throw line, where he has not missed tonight. 6 in a row over the course of the two halves.
Houston 71% on the season as a team from the free throw line.
Boy, he doesn't look like a 67% free throw shooter, does he? He hasn't missed.
He's been impressive tonight, offensively, defensively.
Played a lot of minutes. And you're right, he's done it on both ends.
Houston with 3 timeouts. Michigan with 2.
Got them both. 16 for Devin Davis with a 1-point lead. Hold up.
And again, Wagner involved, whether that's screening, shooting, or playmaking.
Abdur-Rahman on the dribble. Turns around, has to put it up off the window. No good. Tips no good by Matthews. Rebound is Davis again.
Plenty of time. Don't need to hang your head.
Got to keep your head in the game. We got 25 seconds to go.
Still going to have an opportunity to tie regardless of what happens on this free throw.
Going down to the final 25 in regulation in Wichita. And more free throws coming up from Devin Davis.
Oh, contested. Good defense by Corey Davis, just straight up.
Matthews almost can't believe he didn't get the tip, and then he really can't believe he got the foul. And he finally missed one.
That's why there's no time to hang the head when a possession doesn't go your way in a one-point game. You got to put the energy towards the next possession. Free throw box out here is critical. Put a body on someone.
Second one's perfect. 17, 2-point Houston lead.
If John Beilein doesn't like what he sees, he'll use a timeout.
Doesn't like that ball being thrown away like that by Simpson. And whose is it?
They're going to go to the monitor on this one. Dave Hall wants to take a look at it right now.
Well, obviously a huge and vital call here with 17 seconds left.
Wagner needs to get a touch.
Rob Gray got a hand on that pass by Simpson.
It's going to be Michigan ball.
There's the left hand, and then trying to control it and flying out of bounds. So it appears to be the Wolverines that'll get the ball here.
Well, John Beilein has a choice here on the out of bounds play. Does he try and get it to Wagner right away, or do they get it inbounds and then try and get it back to Wagner?
And Kelvin Sampson's upset about something, and his players are actually holding him back right now.
Something with Wagner setting a screen where he has the ability to step back to the ball after his screen. Now Houston will likely switch everything to try and prevent the ball from getting in bounds, or at least making it easy to get a catch.
It's Simpson that will be the trigger man on the baseline.
And watch for slips.
They get it into Wagner, right back to Simpson. Abdur-Rahman 10 to play. On the drive, up off the window, missed it. Davis has got another rebound and a foul with 3.9.
You can't get a better look than that, Brad. Just not able to finish. Took off from a little bit far out. Came back with the right hand instead of using the left hand off the glass, but Wagner was in the corner. And that's what created that opening, because Houston had an awareness of staying attached to Wagner, opened the lane for the drive, but no finish.
And it also is the fifth foul on Charles Matthews. And the entire Michigan team is going to go around and huddle around their coach. Meanwhile, Houston will do likewise, but they've got free throws coming up with 3.9 left. After all the games are over, and they just about are. Casey Stern, Seth Davis, Brendan Haywood, Candace Parker, and South Carolina head coach Frank Martin have all the highlights and analysis on Inside March Madness, presented by Buick. It's coming up next, only on TBS. We are down to 4 seconds in what's been a long week for these teams, these coaches, these fans, and we're going to have a timeout taken by Michigan. And we'll take it as well. 2-point game, 3.9 left. Well, the Houston Cougars, before their win over San Diego State a couple of days ago, their last tourney win was in the National Semifinal in 1984 over Virginia in overtime. Then they went on to lose to Georgetown in the title game. They went to 3 straight Final Fours in that stretch with Clyde Drexler and Hakeem Olajuwon in that group. Well, this group is going to try to make the Sweet 16. If they can hit 2 free throws here, it should send them to the next round.
Houston takes everyone off the foul line.
Davis has the last 6 points for Houston. And he missed the free throw.
Now the question is, does Kelvin Sampson want to foul if they make this free throw? It's a one possession game. Do you allow Michigan to get a three-pointer off, or do you foul in the backcourt?
Davis takes a big deep breath. He's missed 2 of his last 3. He's missed another one. And a rebound by Wagner and a timeout. Michigan's going to have a chance when we come back. Missed free throws, and it all comes down to 3.6 now. Michigan got the timeout called. They trail by 2.
Brad, there's plenty of time here. If you can get a catch where you're led up the floor, each bounce 1 second. We've seen it in the past with Tyus Edney. You can cover the length of the floor. Not if you get a catch where you've got to go back to get the ball, but if you can get it with momentum turned up the court, you can get to the mid-range 4 or 5 feet, or potentially even get a layup. If you're Houston, you want to level off that ability to go north-south, rim to rim with momentum. And the other option is a home run play, where you try and get the ball farther up the floor for a shot.
Houston's not going to put anybody on the man that's inbounding. So the pass is going to come from Livers. He rifles it right in front of us to Abdul Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win! The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. A freshman has won it for the Wolverines. Michigan, a prayer at the buzzer, and the prayer's answered. Here's how it came down.
Well executed. Tremendous pass, and enough time to make the extra pass at the buzzer. Sideline, a couple bounces, and off in time. The celebration begins.
A freshman who hadn't scored in the second half until right there.
An absolute slugfest with a dramatic finish. Poole just lines it up. That's defended well by Corey Davis. He's got the high hands. Just destiny on the Wolverine side.
The officials are over there taking a look, but we already know what both teams that haven't cleared the court do know. That was good.
We'll go all the way back to Wagner's timeout. And then the well-designed play by John Beilein. And without pressure on the ball, Michigan was able to throw that baseball pass.
As the 3 officials with security guards around them head to the locker room, there was no doubt.
I mean, Corey Davis arrives on time of catch, has high hands on that shot. And Poole just delivers.
And you know what, Ladd? If this was somewhere else during the course of the game, that probably would have been a free throw to follow. I think he was fouled on the shot, much less how he hits the biggest shot of his young career. And the celebration carried him a whole lap around all 94 feet of the court. And there's the feeling of the Cougars, who thought they had a Sweet 16 matchup, but not. It's third-seeded Michigan instead. What a finish to the final game of the night in Wichita.
Incredible poise, too, Brad, in those final seconds. No one rushed. They operated with precision and poise. That's what you do.
A well-deserved hug for the freshman. Evans with him.
Jordan, an unbelievable moment. As best you can, take me through what you saw in that play and putting up that shot.
Yeah, I mean, we practiced it on countless numbers of times in practice. Coach had the faith to put me in. And we went out there and the senior just passing me, and by the grace of God, I made the shot.
As a freshman who hadn't scored up to that point in the second half, where did the confidence come from to let it go?
I had confidence all year, and then the coach put confidence in me, and then I've been hitting shots like that in practice, and I feel like it's only right to hit one in March.
This is a dream every basketball player hopes for. How does it match in reality?
It's ridiculous. I'm thinking on the sideline like, this is what March is made of, and I don't know the speeches, bro. I gotta say, by the grace of God, to win there.
It was an unbelievable game and shot to watch. Enjoy it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll bring in Coach here. First of all, what did you want to run in that play? Jordan just told us it's something you guys have drawn up. You're a very smart man.
No, I mean, you have to go, we felt you have 3.4, so you can actually get down the court and get to the rim. But it's possibly get the ball right to Muhammad, maybe pitch it up. We had backside action happening with Mo, and it's a 2 or 3 dribble play, which we could have got. And the idea was, well, if the 3 is open, take it. But if you can get all the way to the rim, go it, which is going to be tough to do. But Muhammad made the great pass, and Jordan does that all the time in practice. He makes buzzer shots all the time.
Well, for those of us who don't know, what makes Jordan special that he could step up in that type of moment?
Oh, the guy has an overdose of swag right now. He's got everything you could ask for. He dreams of those shots. He lives for those shots. That's what he loves. So we're very fortunate to beat a very good Houston team.
Coach, you know what it takes to win in this tournament. With what you've done the last 2 games, where I know at times it's been frustrating, what has this team shown you moving forward?
Well, a great deal of resiliency, I guess would be the word. People have really gone out of character and played against us. We haven't seen Houston switch any screens. They went small. We prepared for something else the last couple days, and we didn't actually. Xavier and Muhammad Ali did not have good games, and part of that was because their defense was very good. So now we got time to retool a little bit. I don't know who will play, but we get to play again.
Coach, enjoy this one, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you very much. Great game.
So here's the bracket for the winning Michigan Wolverines, who battled their way to another Big Ten tournament title for the 2nd straight year. And they'll meet the winner of the Texas A&M North Carolina game. They've won 11 straight, have the Michigan Wolverines. And they're in the Sweet 16, courtesy of one of the sweetest shots you'll ever see from anybody, much less a freshman. And now the celebration starts in the locker room. Jordan Poole making Milwaukee famous. And cheers in Ann Arbor for the Wolverines, who pull it off at the buzzer. That's going to wrap it up. Thank everybody for joining us in Wichita all week long. A thriller. 3rd seed advances, 64-63. For Steve Lavin and Evan Washburn, Brad Nessler saying so long from Wichita. Coming up on TBS, it's Inside March Madness, presented by Buick. One shining moment named Jordan Poole. How about that?
Showtime. Off we go. Glorious move. Beautiful. Drives in. Yes. Oh, what a highlight. March Madness rolls on.
So the pass is going to come from Livers. He rifles it right in front of us to Abdul Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The 3-pointer by Jordan Poole. A freshman has won it for the Wolverines.
Here comes the player of the year. The NBC rises. No timeouts for Tennessee. Bone rises. And the dream is alive. Loyola rambling on to the Sweet 16. That was all you.
You gotta love this story. The Ramblers, they play so hard.
It is the best time of the year, and oh boy, has it been a great couple of days. Welcome back inside our studios. It is Inside March Madness, presented by Buick. What a night. Casey Stearns, Seth Davis, Brennan Haywood, Tennessee's Candace Parker, and Coach Frank Martin. We've got a lot to get to, and we begin with what was a crazy finish to finish the night. Let's look at the beginning, though, how the bracket looked. All clean in the West. No one had made any mistakes. No brackets were busted. And then all of this happened. Rob Gray off the 39-point performance. Mo Wagner, not a great first round. Looking to do better this time around. How about early going inside the lay-in? We didn't see much of this. Kelvin Sampson not very happy, coach, about what he's seeing defensively. You know what those moments are like.
That's what I'm watching.
Frank's way too calm.
That's what I was watching.
Frank,
I'm like,
I've seen you look like that.
I'm glad I'm not the only guy gets upset. Kelvin's one of the better defensive coaches in the country, so I'm not surprised.
Corey Davis's three were tied up at 28, and then Rob Gray, Candace, starts heating up.
Well, Rob Gray, we knew he was going to come to play. He didn't have the best shooting night, but he really got his team involved and made some big plays.
What sign is that he keeps throwing?
I don't know, but what sign is it that we cannot foul guys shooting threes? This is what we're seeing a lot of here in this tournament. Mo Wagner hits the three. The lead is three. Then Charles Matthews. Foul called away from the ball. 2 free throws result. Then more Rob Gray here.
Ooh, what a shot.
Tough runner. Most combined points of the first 2 games since 07-08. Steph Curry, by the way, in a tournament with 70. More Mo Wagner. Seth came to play today after a rough round 1.
Yeah, he sure did. This was a really good defensive game. Not surprising. Michigan season low, 36%.
Wolverines opportunities late. Now look, they're down 1. Not once, but twice. A fight for the ball. Here again, off glass.
Point blank.
I mean, this is Candace. This is tough to watch, frustrating if you're a fan at this point of Michigan. And then this happened.
Hello.
3, 2.
Oh, my goodness.
Freshman
Boom.
Poole.
Look at him. Look at him. He's running from his teammate.
This is the best part. The best part is the celebration at the end. But look at the shot, the concentration. He said they practice this play all the time. He had the confidence to knock it in. And then at the end, watch his teammates trying to catch him. Jordan Poole is having none of it. No, no, no. Catch me if you can.
The Wolverines bench erupts. Meanwhile, the agony of defeat on the other side. Such is March Madness. And it was madness indeed all across the brackets. Meanwhile, in the locker room, the reaction. The water shower. Not bad for a freshman coach.
I got one of those about 1 year ago to the night, and I can tell you that water's cold, but, you know, for a freshman to jump up and make that shot, what an incredible moment.
Seth, how about this? 7 for 29 from 3 during the course of the game before that one.
I mean, what can you really say? First of all, my heart breaks for Devin Davis. He was 9 for 12 from the foul line, so he was perfect going into that final minute. Misses 3 or 4 down the stretch and the 2 pivotal ones. But the great play from Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman getting the ball. I would say 95% of the players, coach, in that situation are going to let it fly with a little bit of time left on the clock. He makes the pass to Jordan Poole. What trust that he has in his freshman, the poise to know how much time was left. I'm sure there'll be a lot of questioning of Kelvin Sampson not putting someone on the inbounds passer. The fact that the inbounds passer was not able to run the baseline, I think, is more reason to put somebody on the ball. But at the end of the day, Corey Davis had a great closeout. Jordan Poole is 29 feet from the basket, and the shot goes in. March happens. Michigan moves on. But Abdur-Rahman's poise to not jack it up and throw the ball to his freshman and have that kind of trust, that impressed me most of all.
Brendan, when you look at this game back and forth, you had a feeling it was going to come down to last second, and it's interesting because Michigan missed all those opportunities close to the rim. Then it's a shot from this deep that ends up winning it.
That's just how the ball bounces sometimes in basketball. Michigan missed countless layups down the stretch of this game, and then to win the game, they hit the most improbable and the toughest shot that they probably had in the last minute. Jordan Poole stepping up, being the hero.
You know, toughest part for Houston and those kids and Kelvin, Candace, is the performance from Rob Gray. Again, 70 points, the most in the tournament in first 2 rounds from anybody.
Look at him run away.
Steph Curry.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's all right. No jumping in the pool this time. Ran away, and here's another look from behind at the 3.
Like he couldn't even come down. He had to shoot that with the legs spread and everything. That's incredible.
Tim Hardaway Jr. of the Knicks. Hell yeah.
That's about the only
Maize and blue.
That's about the only thing you got to cheer for this year.
Come on, Rick.
Really, Brandon? Shots fired.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, yeah. It is St. Patrick's Day, right?
I would say they are going to be partying into the night. It might be St. Patty's Day for about 3 days for those folks. Candace, you know, we talk about the thrill, victory, agony, and defeat. You've been on both sides of that. You were actually today, which we'll get to.
That's what
well, I'm not going there yet.
Okay.
We're just teasing.
Case. All right.
But as a player, can you kind of take us through, from a high and a low standpoint, what's better? Is it the high or is it the low of expectations in terms of what's easier to kind of get over? I don't know what I'm asking.
I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Losing sucks.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. To me, I would rather lose by 20 than a buzzer beater, because you think about the shot that Poole just hit. Any possession is different in that game.
Yeah.
You can change a tip out. You can change a rebound. You can change anything. Anything is different in that game, and Houston wins. And you, as a senior, I mean, you look at Rob Gray. That's the last time he's going to put on a Houston uniform, and that's how he goes out. So, I mean, I feel for them. I've been the body laying on the floor as people run around celebrating it. I mean, there's no way to describe that feeling.
You know, on the other side, Poole was 0 for 9, by the way, before that shot, so ends up hitting it at the right time. When you sit there and you look at Michigan, we talk about momentum, right? They come in 9 straight, now 10, now 11, moving on. How dangerous are they?
They're very dangerous. They're very fortunate to get past this weekend. I don't think they played their best basketball either day. Maybe the long layoff hurt them a little bit, but moving forward, this team is very talented defensively. They're very talented offensively. I think they're going to play better. There's no way they can play worse to me. So this team is somebody that can really make a Final Four run if they run to the right types of teams.
Coach Seth talked about the inbounds. I'm just curious, from a coaching standpoint, what did you think defensively on that play?
I think the biggest mistake was allowing their best guard, Rockman, catch the ball at the half-court line facing the basket they're scoring at. Somehow, some way, you have to do a better job. Make them catch the ball going the other way. So that first tick, that first dribble, is used going away rather than towards the basket, which then allowed him. That's, once again, 4-year guy. Doesn't panic in the moment, knows he's got 3.6, dribble, pass, shot, game.
Unbelievable from senior. How about to the freshman Jordan Poole? You think he's going to have a lot of texts on his cell phone tonight? Here he is moments ago at the podium.
Try to describe what that felt like. When that shot goes in, so your whole team is kind of chasing you. You're just running around the court, and I mean, what was that like?
Yeah, after the shot went in, I kind of didn't know it went in. I looked at the bench and saw everybody was celebrating. And I was always thinking that, like, if I hit a shot like that, I didn't want to get tackled. So I was kind of just trying to avoid everybody, but I gave up, and they tackled me, and it was an amazing experience.
On the right side, second row here.
This is also for Jordan. Greg Eklund for AP Broadcast. Can you describe how that play unfolded that led to the basket?
Yeah, we work on that play thousands of times in practice, and we executed it perfectly, especially from the inbound pass, getting it to our senior guard, Muhammad. And Ham could have put the shot up easy, but he had the confidence to find me, and I just knocked the shot down.
Those last possessions unfolded. We had every chance to put the game away, but we didn't. And then that kid hit a huge shot, but really, really proud of my team. Congratulations to John and his group. They get to advance. Nothing but sportsmanship from our side. A lot of respect for John and his program. A lot of respect for my kids and how hard they fought from the time we got together in June until tonight. These kids have done nothing but fight their hearts out. It's a team that was picked to finish 6th in their league. We're fighting tonight. We're a free throw. We're a missed shot away from going to the Sweet 16. That's how close it was. And it's. The biggest disappointment was I don't get to coach these kids another day. That's what I'm most disappointed about. I don't get to coach Rob and Devin, Wes and Nura, another day. That's really disappointing. But hopefully there's some lessons that they've learned that they can utilize in their life and move on and be better men, be better husbands, be better fathers. There's always lessons to be learned. So But this was a tough one.
Despite the loss, congratulations to that program and Kelvin, what they've done. Here's John Beilein.
He was ready.
The job that he's done, Seth, over the years, I mean, he's become one of the best coaches in America. The defense this year and how his kids have reacted to him, pretty impressive.
He is a maestro. He is a teacher. And he is young at heart, I'll tell you that. That looks fun.
We've got more coming up. There are many other games to get to and to look ahead to, including the Zags. After a scare in round 1, they look much better in round 2. More Inside March Madness coming next.